Well, good morning everybody, I'm MattVidPro AI and welcome back to another video. If I sound a little bit hoarse in this video, it's because I have a little bit of a cold going on, so my apologies, but I am still in shape to create content for you guys, and in fact, I want to. Some very exciting things are going on. In this box, I have an RTX 4080 Super partnering with NVIDIA to give this bad boy away. So if you click the link down in the description below, you'll be taken to my video where I explain the contest. It's for NVIDIA's GTC. All you need to know is that it is completely free to enter in your chance to win this RTX 4080 Super. So if you guys remember in my last video, we talked about Elon Musk suing OpenAI because in Elon's point of view, OpenAI is no longer being very open and they are failing to pursue their original mission. Elon thinks that he has grounds to sue because he was an original investor, he was an original founder of OpenAI. TLDR, OpenAI releases this blog post with some email receipts pointing out that Elon agreed that it's okay to not share the science behind advanced AI technology. So, whatever, right? A lot of people pointed out, like, Elon, your own Grok AI that you recently started is not open source either. That was one of my main criticisms to Elon in my previous video. And I even pointed that out on March 7th here at Elon, why not release Grok as open source? People say, you know, he never would do that. People say it's concerning. How would the engineers get paid? The bombshell here is that Elon announced today that xAI will open source Grok this week. So I guess Elon listened to everybody who was like, hey, maybe you should just open source your Grok AI if you're going to sue OpenAI for the fact that they're not being open. Put your money where your mouth is and show us where your beliefs truly lie. And I think that he's doing that here if he does open source Grok in a meaningful way. Now, I'm not going to be too quick to give Elon Musk a ton of credit for open sourcing Grok. We don't know how he's going to go about it. There are many different open source licenses that exist, so it could be a research purposes only. It could be fully open source. Are we going to see the weights right away? What kind of documentation are we going to receive? It depends on how he goes about open sourcing Grok. I do think this is all really funny though, because it just proves that open source is going to win at the end of the day. It is my opinion that open source is the way of the future. It ensures that no singular person has control over the all-powerful AI technology that we're creating. There's so much value in releasing this powerful technology open source that if just one or a few people do it, everyone else feels very compelled to do it as well. Because how are you going to compete with good open source models? They're going to be cheaper, they're going to be more customizable, more accessible. The way that I see it, if you release your AI open source, you are potentially showing that you have true passion for the future of humanity and the future of this technology, and you're not just greedy about it and want power from it. But like I said, we haven't seen how Elon's going about this. I really hope that he open sources it in a really nice way. A lot of times when these battles happen, these little dramas, you know, Elon Musk versus OpenAI, or, you know, OpenAI and Sam Altman, that whole drama we saw. I personally don't pick sides. The personal perspective that I truly engage with is that of a future where everyone from humanity benefits from AI. My opinion is that AI technology is so powerful and so influential that it is the collective inheritance of all of humanity regardless. It's as crucial as the air we breathe and the water we drink. Point blank period. I think it's too powerful for just one person to own it. Now, Ahmad, the CEO of Stability AI, also jumps in with his own take, noting that general language models are such a race to zero. X will have hundreds of thousands of H100 equivalents over the next few years, like Meta, and like Meta, benefit from commoditizing the complement of their competitors through open models. And finally, he says, where is your moat? I think this statement here really just reiterates what I said earlier. Whether it be xAI or Meta AI or any of the other open source developments out there releasing better and better quality general language models, you're just bringing down the value of the closed source models. It's such a a powerful statement at the end. Where is your moat? They all have no moat. Open source inherently is just a better value for the people. And this is all, a product of the free market. With competition like this, you can do things like release your models as open source, meaning that any models that you actually have to pay for are now less valuable if the models can do the same things, accomplish the same tasks. And I wonder if this is the original envisionment of the free market, meaning when the idea of the free market was conceptualized, was the idea of technology so powerful it could essentially take care of the human race and allow it to retire? Was that something that was envisioned as the end goal? Because that seems to be the point that humanity is reaching towards right now. And it seems to stem from that idea of the free market, of competition getting so overlapped on itself that the only possible benefit is humanity at the end of the day, not the individual companies themselves. So in other news, guys, we also have hints towards GPT-5 being released. Again, put this in perspective, the current market is that OpenAI is kind of at the top of the food chain. GPT-4 has been out for almost a year now, and it's really kicked some butt. It's a phenomenal model. It was ages above everything else that we saw pretty much for the entirety of last year. We just saw Claude 3 Opus release, which is a little bit better than GPT-4, but again, that releases almost a year after GPT-4 releases. Again, while I do think that open source will win no matter what, we're not exactly there yet, and OpenAI still has some rounds in the chamber. Greg Brockman, president and co-founder at OpenAI, tweeted this: "That feeling when you're not sure how something is supposed to work and then try out 4 ideas which each fail, but then as you prepare to implement the 5th, you realize you now understand exactly how to make it work." So obviously the key hint here is 4 and 5. They tried out 4 ideas, GPT-1, 2, 3, and 4, and now as they release the 5th one, they have apparently figured out how to make it work the best. Nate responds, "Okay, GPT-1 through 4 were failures, but GPT-5 is going to blow our socks off. Got it." I really hope that this statement is revealing to us that when GPT-5 releases, it's going to be inherently different in a number of ways from any of the GPTs that we've seen before, thus bringing new value to the table in regards to AI that we have not seen before. And I think a lot of people are just expecting a better version of GPT-4, a better large language model, but I don't think people realize that we need to see more from that. In this market, in this game, OpenAI currently is creating the most advanced technology. They are the farthest ahead, as many people speculate. That means that everybody underneath, whether it is open source developments or not, follows in their footsteps and tries to create things based off of their papers. So more or less, for OpenAI to stay in its position as this leader and driver of the industry as a whole, even if it's not set to win at the end of the day, to maintain their current position, they need to release something that is going to blow our socks off. It needs to be fundamentally different. It can't just be another GPT model like we've seen before. It needs to be able to access multiple agents, let's say. It needs to be able to create and dispatch these agents effectively. It needs to be built into it. This needs to feel like, a lot of people will say, a generational increase. That's what it has to feel like. And I really hope that this is hinting towards that, because if it's not and we just get another better GPT, well, it'll be a lot of hype, but I think that would be the first note of a setback, actually, for OpenAI. And so we also have OpenAI announcing new members to their board of directors. If you remember, this almost destroyed the company not too long ago, with the board of directors from OpenAI moving to fire Sam, and then the entire company rebelling against the board of directors. It was just ridiculous. We thought that OpenAI was going to get swallowed by Microsoft for a second, but no, they appointed a new board of directors. Dr. Sue Desmond-Hellmann, former CEO of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Nicole Seligman, former EVP and general counsel at Sony Corporation, and Fidji Simo, CEO of Instacart. Additionally, Sam Altman, CEO, will rejoin the board of directors. They state that these people have experience in leading global organizations and navigating complex regulatory environments. We get a little bit of background from this brief blog post by OpenAI about each of these people. I saw someone point out that Nicole, as previous president of Sony Corporation of America, might have a big stake in the film industry and thus might not want something such as Sora AI video to release because it could disrupt that. I don't know how I feel about it. Feels like a long stretch of assumptions to get to that point. I think the truth is that while all these people might be very qualified for such a position, this blog post doesn't really tell us much about the reason that they were specifically selected. It just sort of gives us, some background and how they know how to run things, which is great and all, but I want to know a little bit more about the specifics. All we got on that is, they'll work closely with current board members, that they will oversee OpenAI's growth and ensure that we pursue OpenAI's mission effectively. I'd like to see a little bit deeper, especially with all this buzz around this lawsuit with Elon. I don't know, Sam Altman will be on the Lex Fridman podcast soon, so perhaps we'll get a little bit more insight there, but I don't think any of this is anything to be too concerned or worked up about. Like I said, competition will drive this AI technology to open source. If we keep pushing for it, if we keep asking for it, it is the only thing that we can receive. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Just something I really wanted to talk about today because I think it's really important that I collect and express my viewpoint in regards to these matters. If my personal model of our future in regards to AI is to be believed, any of these situations, whether it be Grok open sourcing or OpenAI releasing GPT-5, the lawsuits, should be able to be interpreted in its context and more or less be solved for. By the way, I did get access to Gemini 1.5. I keep forgetting that I did. I'll test that thing out and see if I can make a video for you guys about it. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share footage of that. But yeah, that's a pretty big deal, so video on that soon if I can. Thanks so much for watching, see you in the next one, and goodbye.